Patrick Mahomes are currently the two best quarterbacks in the AFC, and Allen spoke recently about his friendship with his conference rival.
Again, when we step on that field, we're supposed to be competitors, and it's the old mantra of you got to hate your enemy, but I would say that we have a really good relationship, especially for the type of games that we tend to play in. AFC Championship 2 years ago, and obviously the divisional last year. But he's awesome. He really is.
So they connected recently in Miami during the F1. I think that's where this all came from. And then they'll be teaming up again for the upcoming The Match golf tournament, and they'll be facing off against Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I personally love this friendship. I mean, this is something you have to think about it. They obviously are obsessed with the exact same thing, football. They're star quarterbacks. They play the same position. They have similar hobbies. They've been in similar situations being a star quarterback for a team, and there's got to be mad respect for each other. Their matchups have been some of the most epic battles we have seen in the last couple of years, where you can't turn away from your TV for the entire game, which is rare sometimes in a long football game. I'm a fan of this. I like the friendship.
Well, I think for quarterbacks, it's particularly okay because you're not on the field at the same time. I think this would feel a little like, should you be this close? If you're talking about, a defensive player being, best friends with a wide receiver or something like that. You might be like that relationship could kind of get weird. You guys are competing against each other in real time on the field together. Like, this is something that people complain about in the NBA all the time, that everyone's friends because you guys are on the court together. You're going up against each other. At some point, the level of animosity that you could reach if you didn't like this person would be higher than if you have, a real friendship with this person, which is obviously exaggerated. Like, the idea that everyone hated each other in the 80s and 90s is a little exaggerated. Like, they're still friends. Like, you guys are in the same industry. Yeah. You're going to establish relationships. We have lots of friends in our industry because we're in the industry together.
We understand.
We have the same experiences. We're in the same places.
Exactly.
So I think it's great. I think this is why the league is so healthy and in such a great place, because we have this young talent and there's never a gap, especially at the biggest position. And now, I mean, forget it, just outside of these two, when you look at the high level of quarterbacks that you have in the AFC is unbelievable. But, the league is in a really good place with how it's going to move into the future because you have these big personalities that are such great representations for the league. Yeah. And they can be friends. They can golf together. They're not on the field at the same time.
No. That's going to be some good commentary for the match with them two, and then Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers together.
Yeah, it'll be some good funny trash talk.
There's going to be some good quotes. I just have a gut feeling there's going to be some good takeaways from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Where Sportico released its list of highest earning athletes for 2022, and LeBron James was atop of that list. He unseated Conor McGregor, and a top 5 only NBA player, if you see here. Oh yeah, we got the list on the board. This is some crazy money when you put it into perspective.
So that's okay. Earnings based on salary, winnings, and endorsements, and this is per year.
Yes. This is per year. Naomi was the highest woman on the list at number 20 with $53.2 million in earnings. And then Tom Brady was number 16 at $58.4 million, which is crazy to think. He's that low on the list.
Oh, just a casual $54 million.
Just a casual. That's 16. But you forget these European soccer players make so much money. It is next level. We're talking about big contracts here. The contracts overseas are mind blowing.
And the endorsements.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's can we see that list again? I took it down too soon. I was evaluating something. Okay, so Roger Federer is at 8.
Yes.
Tennis, obviously. And Canelo Alvarez as a boxer at 89. And then you have Tiger up there still. So no football players in the top 10.
No.
Well, American football players, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I would have to imagine, is Brady, at number 16, would he be the top? You would think.
It's not terribly surprising that LeBron is at the top still. And that's why when people talk about, why are the Lakers still in the conversation? Why are they still so relevant? Why are we talking about them? This is why. Like, LeBron James is still the superstar. of the world.
International superstar.
He's still the biggest guy.
Yes.
He's still the biggest brands.
Yes.
Brands still feel like he's the biggest guy.
And this is proof that he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting list.
Yeah.
127, huh?
NBD.
It's good checks.
A little chub change.
That's Alex Curry with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So we'll get to RJ Young, Fox Sports college football analyst, in just a few minutes. I don't know if he agrees with me about all the NIL stuff or not, but we'll pick his brain about everything that's happening with that. A lot of quotes coming from different coaches about how to handle everything. But we were just talking about Brooklyn, and Sean Marks talked a lot about, their off season and, how everything is gone. He talked about Kyrie. And he talked about Kevin Durant, and he had another. I actually appreciated his quote about Kyrie. It gave some insight into at least where they are mentally with the organization, with everything that's happened with Kyrie. But then he just went back with it with this comment about Kevin Durant, and here he is on KD being their best player development coach.
I think Kevin Durant is our best player development coach. Like, if you watch him and how he competes in practice and how he competes in shoot-arounds, everything is game speed. Just follow him. I can imagine when I was a 19, 20-year-old kid, having the opportunity to, play alongside or shoot in the same drill as a guy like Kevin or Kai, and you see that they go at game speed and you see how they want to master their craft. That's pretty special.
Yeah, but they're not Kevin Durant. So that's the difference. The reason why Kevin Durant can do that is because he's Kevin Durant, one of the all-time greatest players in NBA history. So yes, should you mirror what someone like Kevin Durant does, the effort level that he gives, the speed in which he practices, all those things? Yes. But this is my problem with how the Nets word things. It matters. They do have quite a few actual development coaches, assistant coaches on the team. And this has been the mantra with the Nets from the beginning of this whole experiment. This is Kyrie and KD on not needing a coach.
Coach, he said I was the first person to call him Coach Nash, but I call him Steve. Steve is great, and I have a relationship with him that's going to build over time, bro. And I think it's also going to change the way we see coaches. I don't really see us having a head coach. You know what I mean? Like, KD could be a head coach. I could be a head coach.
Jacques Vaughn could do it one day. It's a collaborative effort, I think, on our part.
No, it's not. You got swept in the first round and you were a 7 seed. So clearly you need some coaching. Proves absolutely nothing. Not reinventing how basketball is done. Coaches have actual jobs and real roles, and good coaching is being exhibited in this postseason at the highest level and why it's necessary. It completely undermines Steve Nash. This comment by Sean Marks undermines everything else that the Nets are doing. You are not developing anything. You are not building anything. Good, well-run organizations actually have excellent player development coaches. You see that with the Warriors. They take young players and develop them into the best version of what they are. They don't take young players and turn them into Kevin Durant because there's only one Kevin Durant. These players are not running scouts. They're not putting together game plans and rotations. They're not studying analytics. There are jobs for this. We see this time and time again with organizations who try and come out here and do this. How has this worked out for the Cowboys, Jerry Jones being involved in everything that's going on? They've won 3 playoff games in 25 years. There are specific roles within organizations that lead you to success. Anything that is well run and produces success is because great people are in their roles and do it to the highest level. And people trust them to do their jobs. They trust the coach to be the coach. They trust the player development coaches for their nutritional plans and for their rehab plans and for their training plans and to read their scouts and study what they're supposed to do in each game. It's not a flippant thing to say that we have no structure within our organization when it comes to coaching. Or you could do what you do and you got swept in the first round. So that option is also on the table. Let's talk to RJ Young on if name, image, and likeness rights are a good or bad thing for college sports. That's next on The Herd.